Yes. All right. So we are live. Just want to double check if people can hear us well. Um, ta-ta-ta-ta. Test, test, test. Roel, could you mute your microphone?
Yes.
Okay. Will this explain how to get rid of the right-click menu? Ah, yes, that's it. Totally. Okay. How do we know everything's set correctly? Sounds good. Okay. Yes, I can hear you. Nice, Oren. Thanks. And Jack. Okay. Welcome to the announcement of me and Roel. I am Roel. No, me and Roel. We have been working a lot together on combining. Ah, man. Okay. We've been working a lot on community, a lot in the Facebook group. I've been creating a lot of tutorials, and we kind of noticed a few things, and we wanted to start collaborating more with each other, and not only between me and Roel, but also with more of the community. If you have any questions, you can obviously put them in the chat. So Roel will be moderating the questions a little bit here and there. So yes, let's get started. So okay, this is more difficult than I thought it would be. What we are going to announce is Leap8. And Leap8 is the name what we've come up with that what we want to get out of what we want to share is kind of like that we stimulate sharing. Oh man, Roel, can you help me out?
Over the past few months, we've talked a lot, almost daily, because we felt like cooperating more with people like all of you, and to help each other out. So a professional place to share knowledge, to motivate each other, to have meetups, discuss all kind of questions that are not related to right clicking, and the most basic questions that tend to come up each time in the main 3D Vista group. And for this, we have set up a community. And because Ronald was talking, I'm going to give him the word now, because I think he has recovered.
Okay. Yes, I do. Yes, as you were saying, we want to help each other out, and helping each other out is a thing that comes with giving things and taking things. And we've seen that in the main 3D Vista group, a lot of people there is some sort of unbalance where there's a lot of people, and some people are asking a lot of the same questions, and it kind of like gives away the energy of like getting to the real interesting questions, like how do you get more deep into the analytics part, or how do you create like an e-commerce store in 3D Vista. And these discussions are not really happening because these are the real interesting questions. And whenever, as a company, you start working on these real interesting questions, you tend to not share it anymore because you're a company, you want to make money, which kind of makes sense. But in a way, what we like to figure out is how can we create a place where companies can work together on these interesting topics that go deeper than right-clicking or some basic skin editing. So what we first I'd like to show you is that we have set up a Facebook group where we can start like these kind of discussions on a little bit more professional level. So I would like to invite you guys to join the group. And this is without like any, how do you say? This is only like a time investment thing. But yet, with Facebook, there's still a few problems with it. Like not every professional is on Facebook. Also, Facebook has some sort of things related to organizing content, which is kind of like still a little bit of a struggle. There are a lot of discussions, and you have things that are more library parts, so where you want to find information. So you want to talk about things and you want to find things. And these are two things that are needed to have a community. Over the last year, been trying to figure out like how can this all be set up. We've been trying a lot of different tools, Slack and Discord and yeah, well, just a bunch of tools basically. And eventually we got a community platform which is going a few steps further. So I'll share my screen. So as you can see, this is our sales page. Why I say this? Because for this community, we want to put in way more effort in organizing things. So for that comes a subscription of 40 euros monthly. And in these things, we'll show you right over here what is then all in there. So what do you get for that? First of all, there is when you join the community, the professional community, the one you pay for, you start like with this post, and there are like a lot of different spaces on the left side, and they're all organized in different categories, as you can see. So there's the pro community, discussions, resources, and research and development. And so when you join the community, you start with an introduction. Why is this so important? So when you're joining a community and you're not saying who you are, it becomes very difficult for other people to know who you are and what you do. Like just like in real life, when you're on an event, you shake each other's hand and you get to know each other. And this part is just very important to see, like, okay, who are you? Where are you from? Also, in this case, like, what business have you done? Like, what works have you already created? And what are you aiming at? And knowing these things can already be something to say, like, oh, you know, I'm also in this or in that, or when that grows and you know each other's goals, you can actually start working together and figure out like, hey, this is how I can help you. But you have to tell that, and you have to be invited to introduce yourself. And that's the space, the thing that we want to create here. Any questions so far? Don't be nervous, you guys are doing great and you're among friends. Yeah. What about starting a Discord? I feel like they have better organization structure for something like this.
Ronald, there seems to be a substantial delay between what we're saying and when it arrives on YouTube. So
Okay.
I'll just note down the questions,
Mhm.
and let's continue for now. And
Okay.
yeah,
Sure. So introductions, that's a very important thing of having to be part of a community and to know who's joining the community. And what we're aiming at is that we help each other out. So we have a positive mindset and we want to, just that. Furthermore, we have sections, spaces for giving feedback on each other's tours. So it will be more than just like, hey, what do you think? Here's my link. It will be like you also ask a bit more specific question, like, hey, what do you think of the hotspots I've created in this? Or at least something that's a bit more like, what do you think? And people who are seeing that are invited to give 3 pieces of feedback, so that it also becomes something more than just, nice, so that you can actually help each other move forward. Then we have a show and tell. Like whenever you learn something, a nice trick or some workflow, you can share that here. So more than positive stuff. Share your wins. It's just like whenever you feel like you've accomplished something, if you've been able to figure out something difficult, or you're just happy, or you just launched a new client or something like that, you can just share that and just bring some positivity in there. Furthermore, after that we have an events calendar. This is a very exciting thing because in this we will be organizing different types of events. We got fun meetups. So these are meetups, are things that we already organized, but this is something we can do more often because it's now a subscription. We can spend more time and organize them better. We have office hours with subject matter experts. In this case, it's me, Roel, and also Mathieu. Mathieu is part of the Leap8 team, and much into the JavaScript part. So what we'll be doing is, for example, we have an office hour. We first have a kickoff party. And then we have on Wednesday, we have an office hour from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And this is like a place. I'll be open in a Zoom call, and anyone can just ask any questions that are very related to 3D Vista. Don't know yet how to specifically fill this in, if we're just going to keep it open and for everyone, or that we will split it up in like 15-minute blocks so that people can block 15 minutes of their time to specifically ask your questions that you're having. That's something we'll have to figure out as it goes. But you have the ability to ask me anything. And the same goes for Roel, and Mathieu will probably be coming soon as well. So we have office hours, meetups, and we have study halls. And study halls are basically times that you can basically say, we all join together at a certain time. And at the beginning of the study hall, we all set our own goals, whatever we want to have done at the end of a 90-minute sprint. We set our intention, then we mute ourselves. We keep the videos on so that we can see each other. And at the end of a 90-minute sprint, we'll check in, like, have you been able to finish whatever you've done? And this is something I've seen on different places, which is just very helpful to get things done. So it's not only like talking and like spending your time talking, it's also very productive wise, figuring out ways how to get stuff done and be productive. And these are set for different time zones. So for Europe, Asia, it's more in the morning, and America, that's for Europeans in the evening. And Austria, Asia and Australia will see based on who's going to join and if it's needed or not. Yeah, so we got the events part. Are there any questions so far now? Roel, could you maybe unmute yourself?
I've sent you a collection of questions.
Okay.
To your phone.
Yes. Okay, so Oren Levy is asking, how exactly do you join? Is this also a clearinghouse database for specific questions? So the joining part is whenever you sign up through the Gumroad sales page, which Roel can set up, share in the comments. Then after payment, you receive an invitation link in which you can register for the community. Your second question is it also a clearinghouse database for specific questions? So, yes. So whenever questions are being asked, I'll put up a post here, a quick post, test. We can add some YouTube video, we can add images and all that kind of stuff. And embed all types of different stuff inside the post, but I'll just quickly have this post. And then let's say we'll have another post over here. Now, let's say that test number, the quick post is very important. What we then can do is whenever a post becomes a very valuable thing, we can say pin to sidebar. And then on the right side, you can see like the most important posts. Also, that's a second part. In phase number 2 of this community, it will be more of a knowledge base. So whenever all these posts are getting a bit out of hand, maybe we'll like set up a new space which will be served as a knowledge base of all these different types of things we've learned and shared. So maybe all types of different deep links with all the public JavaScripts that have been shared among different types of groups. So that kind of stuff that will all be added then later on. For now, we kept the knowledge base out of the community because it was just a little bit too much for yet. But it's, like as long as these things are valuable and is what people want, then we make it. So yeah. Let's see. I'll move over to the extra questions. Sunny Das is asking, best possible on budget 360 VR tours single shoot camera. Yeah, well, that kind of stuff, what camera to buy, we can open a space for that, which is more like cameras and experiences with cameras and that kind of stuff. So that would be more like pre-3D Vista shooting, or I don't know how we're going to call that space. But if a lot of people have interest in having such a space, then we will just create such one. And we can discuss that.
But also, this could be discussed in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
In the Leap8 group, or perhaps the 3D Vista group, or another specialized group. It's not meant what the paid for community is meant for. So it's
Yeah. Median Atelier is asking, do I have to input the information myself or do you provide it? Roel, do you understand this question? to input information myself. I don't know what type of information.
Well, if he means to introduce yourself, it means yourself and not by us.
Yes.
My guess is it's either the information to become a member or the introduce yourself part. So if Roman could clarify his question here. And I realize there's at least 20 to 30 seconds of delay here. So let's move on to the next question and see if Roman replies in the meantime.
Christina is asking, will it just go month to month, or do you have to do a long-term commitment? Month to month. That's what we would like to have. We would like to have everyone to... I'll stop sharing my screen for a moment. We want everyone to feel that it needs to keep adding value. So you can just try us out. You can just start with 1 month. And if you feel like after a month, okay, sorry guys, this is not for me, then it's okay to stop, and we will stop harassing you. No, joking. So yeah, no. So no long-time commitments. We also want to test this ourselves and see. We believe it's going to work, but we'll have to see, okay, how are all these things balancing themselves out? And it's going to be a lot of work for us to keep this up. And so we need to figure out, okay, how can we find all these nice balances to keep everyone happy? But yeah, also as a user, you can pay monthly. So yeah, that.
And the advantage of early members is that I and Ronald will be able to put more time of our time into you. So if you have specific questions, it's easier for us to set aside some special attention towards this instead of having to spread it across a bigger group of people.
Yeah.
So it's when you join later, there will be more content. When you join earlier, you'll have more for your money in terms of personal advice, etc.
Yeah, so join fast, join early. We want you in there. We'll have a lot of time for you, and later on, we'll have to see how it goes then. How about breaking up the office hour in 50-minute blocks by topic type, like JavaScript skins, deep linking, or whatever you think the most common or difficult topics are? I think these topics themselves are already quite something to talk about. And that might be more of a topic for an online meetup of an hour or maybe 2 hours, depending on how we organize that. So that there's more space to talk about these subjects. Going 50 minutes JavaScript and then 50 minutes deep linking, it might be a bit like... But yeah, if it makes sense, or we're always open for trying other things. But so far, my first response would be like, I don't know if that makes sense, or that it would make more sense to put it in longer meetups. But yeah, we'll have to see how these things work themselves out, and we're open for these kind of suggestions. Okay, let's see. I'll start moving on. We then have over the events calendar. So going back, we were talking.
One moment, Roman just replied, and he suggests there's a 2-minute delay, and his question is, Median Atelier, do you provide much of knowledge in this community, or is it empty when I join it now?
Well, there's no knowledge base, so yeah, it is empty as you're joining, yes. But yeah, I think that is just a matter of time. Like in a week, we believe that's already pretty filled up with a lot of content. So that's stuff we need to see how these things go.
And we can be contacted directly with requests.
Yeah.
So the knowledge base that is there is me, Ronald, and whoever decides to join in. For instance, if Mathieu wants to act as a knowledge beacon, he can also. do this.
Yeah, and that's something we would like to make larger as well, to have more experts on different types of fields. So having, I mean, I know stuff about e-learning, but maybe there's someone much smarter than me on e-learning, and I could figure these things out much better than me. Then I would love to have an e-learning expert on this, and having someone for that to refer to. So that's kind of like also the intention, to have different experts on different things. Okay, so moving on, we have so the pro community here, then the discussing. So this is then very similar to Facebook, but then with the pinned post on the right. And we have different topics to
Ronald,
talk.
perhaps you should share the screen.
Oh yes. That's funny. Didn't notice myself anymore. So here we go. I'll just quickly go over this again. So we have events calendar, pro community, discussing, and over the discussing different topics. And from these different topics, we can pin certain posts that are very important. And when a discussion is happening, and it will be something like, hey, how do I sell stuff in a virtual tour using Shopify? Then if you would ask this usually in a Facebook group, it's kind of like, well, don't know, maybe someone, but you're not really connecting or moving the idea forward, pushing it. And this is kind of like where we really want to make this change, because as soon as that happens, as soon as there's some sort of feature request, something that's not possible yet, something nobody knows about, we want to put that as a feature request in the research and development. So we move the post over here, and we are going to then conceptualize this suggestion. So, for example, having Zooms, Teams, Meet inside, or a Shopify, then it would be like, okay, what kind of options do we have? What are the differences? Why do we need what? And we'll just, as we go, we make this more specific. And as this R&D feature request is then showing here, people can vote for them. So by liking the post, and then we see, okay, this is a very popular thing. And from that moment, anyone can feel like taking such a feature request for themselves to develop that further. So, for example, what if you could have something to sync very efficiently, so that you don't have to upload the full tour again? That's VTP Syncer from Roel. And so Roel's working on that. And then we can say, okay, so from all these feature requests, there's something like syncing stuff. Then Roel says, okay, I know how to create such a thing. I can do the syncing thing. And so he can then start his own little group inside here with just us, basically. And if anyone else says like, hey, I know how to do this as well, they can be invited to the smaller subgroup to further discuss how to work on this idea. So there will be like check-ins and saying like, okay, how's progress? What did you do? And there's no pressure. It's just like keeping track of these R&Ds and saying like, hey, are you able to further go, or do you need certain help? Do you need what do you need to make it a success, to develop this kind of solution? And yeah, that's kind of like how we would like to push these things more forward. Same with like a paywall and that kind of stuff. So in the end, what happens is we'll have like a lot of discussion over here. there will be a lot of feature requests then being growing up as it goes. And from these feature requests, different types of people from the community can start working on these things and saying, okay, I'm going to take these things and develop this. And as that's being developed, it can go two ways. It can either fail, but failing means actually that you know why it fails, so you have a certain clarity, but you haven't managed to figure out how to make money with it. Or it can be a success and you know how to make money with it. You found a solution. And from that point, it moves on to the resources. So when you have such a product, such as a Shopify, it becomes maybe a product that people can automatically buy, or a service to set up Shopify stores. And so that's kind of like where it's all going to come together. Because here you are motivated to develop it. Here you are able to sell it. And something important about this is we don't want to set some commission on the products that are being listed here. What we find really important is that whatever is being listed on the products or services is that it's quality. And if people feel like, okay, I would like to offer some sort of commission or some sort of referral link so that Leap8 becomes better of it, then that's okay. But we're not asking, we're not forcing it. So whatever money we make, we put back into the community. So we would love to see you guys offering us this, but we're not demanding this.
And the marketplace, for instance, and the services are also available for non-members, and they will also be mentioned on the Leap8 Facebook group. So
Yeah.
it's not limited to members only.
Correct. And then as we have the products and services, right now this has been created within the community. This might later on turn into a more developed page where you have filters to say, okay, I want this type of products, which is panoramas or maybe only codes or whatever. But that stuff will develop further as we go. For now, we have these different types of posts that work pretty well. And then you can purchase. And here you go. So also one important thing about this is that we have the 3D Vista market online. And there are only a few things about the 3D Vista market that makes it really difficult for a seller to list the items. And that has to do with how the taxes are being handled. And 3D Vista is not a merchant of record. And when you offer your product and it's been sold 20 times, you need to create 20 invoices, which is a lot of extra work. And you need to have an accountant to check all these things, which is in the end eating a lot of energy, and so not really sustainable. And so what we figured out is, after a ton of research on how to do taxes properly, we figured out that there's something called Gumroad, which is a merchant of record and enables creators to sell stuff, which is like $10 monthly and 3.5% commission over each sale. So very, very reasonable. And it even takes care of all the taxes in each country, because they have everywhere thresholds and stuff like that. So
they remit your taxes worldwide, so you don't have to worry about VAT, whatever sales tax, or other taxes. Basically, what they do is they sell your product in their name. And at the end of a period, I don't recall if it's a week, 2 weeks, or a month, you just get the amount that was paid for the sales, minus taxes, minus a small percentage. And you can just declare it as income from sales. And you don't have to contact all the individual tax institutes all over the world to declare your taxes. And we won't go into that in depth right now, but it's a huge issue. And yeah.
No. I'm reading now that Christina was asking, I think it would be more enticing for people to join faster if there was some knowledge-based topics prepared already that weren't available anywhere else, like in a Facebook group. Yeah, definitely gonna come. Definitely going to be developed further. Median Atelier is asking, when I'm an expert for some part, is it possible to get paid for my knowledge and time I invest? Yes, definitely. That's kind of what we also want to happen, that it's a professional environment. So whatever you put into should be paid for. Now, I don't know exactly like how we are going to balance everything out. I mean, whatever is Leap8 money from all the memberships, if there's enough available to pay people, we'll go for that. And from the other hand, we'll try to figure out like, okay, maybe we can help in another way. But in any case, whatever we do, we don't want people to feel being underpaid or something like that. We want to have opportunities and to think in a way to solve things, whatever that is. And like everything should be a win-win situation for everyone and not where somebody is losing.
I don't recall if this was mentioned already, but there is also a place where potential clients can post their jobs.
Yeah.
Or can have their jobs placed. So if people contact us or will in some way place something in the group, yeah, that's potential assignments for people to pick up on.
Yeah. So I'm receiving quite a lot of project requests on email, and I'm not able to solve all these things. So what I would like to do is ask if I'm allowed to post this on the job board and to find someone else being able to do this. And that stuff I can post here, and then anyone who feels like, hey, I can do that, is being able to do that. So it's either posting a job or asking for a job with like whatever you're able to offer. Yeah. So yeah. Let's see. So we have the pro community, we have the discussions. From the discussions, stuff is moving over to the R&D. And from the R&D, stuff is moving to the markets and services. And then we have the job board in which exchange work with each other. So yeah, let's see. Are there any other questions? Maybe before that, a few other features that are possible in the community is starting like chats. So here you have like the private chat. You can have a private chat with one person or with multiple persons starting a group chat. So all these things are being facilitated. And yeah, that all helps, I think. Let's see. I don't think I've forgotten anything so far. Any other questions?
And at the same time, the Leap8 Facebook group, which is free for everyone, will be a place to demonstrate products in the marketplace, to where Ronald and some others will place tutorials. There might be reviews there for things in the marketplace. So there will be knowledge shared there also. So it's not that everything that is talked about in the pro community stays in the pro community necessarily. So some things might be for sale, but there might also be things that come out. That just provides a value to all of us, whether you're paying or not.
All right, I'm reading some really nice comments already. So, oh man, I get so excited because of this. Can you please share the link to this? Roel, you do have the link. You are muted right now.
I'm sharing it for the second time now.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, and obviously, whenever you are part of the Leap8 team and then offering people help, you don't have to pay for subscription or whatever. I mean, that should be like at least the minimal reward of whatever you're doing. So yeah.
And not all, not everything in the group that will be shared or has to be figured out will be paid for or will cost money. But there's this R&D part where somebody puts in a lot of dedicated time, and where I and Ronald and perhaps others, if they are invited, will check in and give some advice and help thinking how to solve something or connect certain people together which might be able to help. Well, if that at some point makes it to the market, well, that would be a for sale or item. But well, a lot of knowledge that comes out, well, it could basically be shared. But for us, it's well, we've been busy with meetups and finding a way to do certain things for about a year now, and we're trying to well, move it to the next level. And for us, it's been a journey, and it's still a journey. And well, we and others will dedicate their time and knowledge in this group to build a community. And there are no, you're not entitled. Okay, you're not forced to put time into this, but it would be very much appreciated, and it would only strengthen the community. And yeah, well, we'll find out over the next few weeks how to fine tune this more. And this is the start. But there's also so much two people can do without involving others. So we'll hope that our journey will go forward in a faster and rewarding pace from now on. Now that others are involved.
Yeah, totally. And one more thing as well is when being busy in the R&D, it's still something. It's kind of like an experimental idea that we're having is to also sponsor the R&D. So whoever is working on a certain thing, that there's some sort of money been paid. It might not be much, but it might be something at least to move forward, to track time, and to get at least to be able to spend the time as well. And that might be in different ways. That might be coming from us. That might be coming from other companies who are or members who are willing to sponsor something. How these things are further being developed, that's kind of like still there. I'll keep that a bit in the middle for now. But we want to really push these things more. And obviously, whenever a sponsored R&D is successful and there's money been made with it, it will be paid back. But that kind of arrangements, we'll further see how that goes. So, yeah. Do you have
Ronald,
anything to add, Roel?
Christina said that she didn't see any link coming up in the chat. Do you see my comments?
No. Maybe YouTube is filtering the links.
You can contact me or Ronald personally for the direct message on Facebook, and we'll send the link and we'll Probably also update this message on the To The Vista group, or post a new message with the links there.
Do you see the link that I shared?
Yes, I see it.
Okay. Roel, you're being filtered by YouTube.
We're still live, Ronald. I'm muting myself now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, then I'll also make sure for people to join the Facebook group. Okay, so Christina is seeing the link now. That's good. Okay. All right. Do we have anything to add? I don't think so. I think this is it. I'm super excited for this whole thing.
Well, the Leap8 Facebook group is invite only, which basically means that you can request to join and somebody has to approve it. And I am Ronald, and probably everyone who will be part of this would appreciate it if you would suggest people who you think that might benefit from joining at least the free Facebook group, to invite them to join, and so that we can build both communities here, the free one and the
pro one. Yeah.
Yes.
The pay pro. Yeah. Okay.
And if you have further questions, please feel free to ask them in the Leap8 Facebook group, because it's not really it's not suitable to discuss this to great length in the To The Vista group. So we are available there for questions.
All right. So let's end the live stream. I thank you all for being part of the live stream and for hearing us out. Yeah.
And Christina, the Facebook group is free. And the name.
Explain the name. Nice one.
Yeah. Well, that's up to Ronald.
Oh yeah, you can do it as well.
I made it up. Ronald will explain
it. I guess so. Yeah. So Leap8, the leap, it's about making a leap into the 8, and the 8, when you turn at 90 degrees, it becomes an unlimited sign, and the unlimited sign is basically that there's enough, that not enough. There's like unlimited amount of resources as long as you keep sharing things, and so yeah, that's kind of like what we want to focus on, that there's like enough for everyone, as long as we keep a positive vibe among each other, trust each other, and yeah, just have this nice attitude.
It's a big world out there, and I and Ronald have learned over the last few months that there's too much work for a small amount of people. So I think it would also be a great place to share opportunities.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for watching, and hope to see you at least in the Facebook group, and hopefully as well in the pro group. Yeah. Let's see. How do I do this? Oh yeah, there. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.